Hello, this is Kate, and welcome to the Ordinary Earth song. It's been a little while, so I'm going to do a reading. Oh, there's a blue tag caught in there between these two cards. Page of Swords. Okay. So, am I doing a tarot reading? Don't know. Am I doing an oracle reading? Potentially. Am I doing some drawing? Who knows? Am I channeling something? I don't know. I've got no idea. I've not slept for the last 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, properly. For every night, I've had around about 4 hours sleep, or I've had broken sleep. So, yeah, pretty tired. Am I going to do a reading? I keep being told, do a reading, and I just did one, and it cut off halfway through, and then I couldn't do it. So I didn't do that reading. I've got another reading I have not finished. I'm not going to finish. So just tantalisingly putting that in front of you there. I don't know what's going on. I'm so tired. Anyway, I'll draw you into that mess. I don't actually know what it is even. So what am I doing? I'm going to do a reading of some type or other. Let's see, what cards should I use? So I've got these tarot cards here, which I just tried to do a reading with, and it was going really well. It was actually quite a good reading. It was one of the best readings. But no, I mean, it's average at best. Average at best. Okay, I'm being called to the, what are these called? These ones. Archetypes. But the thing is with these is that I did a reading for myself just the other day. Weirdly, right, so you know I watch Tarot and Beyond. So I did this reading the other day, and it was the mask, the box, the mountain, Alethea, and the one. Okay, Tarot and Beyond. Did a reading the other day. The box and the mountain. And then the mask and Alethea. So, okay. And the one. Interesting how synchronicities work, eh? I just want to make sure I take off all the blue tack. So I stick, when I do a reading, I like to see the cards for a little while, so I stick them on my shelf above me desk so I can see them, and I read them in the book, and take on board the wisdom. The wisdom of the cards. Please forgive me, I am mentally incapacitated at the moment with extreme fatigue, so I may talk a lot of. I might just talk a lot. You know, I hope it makes some sense, and I just know I'm supposed to do a reading right now. So that's what I'm doing. I am doing a reading. It will make sense to somebody, apparently. Okay, which is good. It's always nice when these things make sense to someone. So, let's shuffle, see what comes out. Oh, blimey, okay. Right, they fell on the floor. Maybe I should get them, eh? Right. We have the vow. The shadow. Interesting. Overlap them slightly. The father. See, I'm getting a massive duality vibe going here. Duality, light and dark. The crone. Masculine, feminine. The unseen. And the hunter. So this is how I would stick them on my shelf, overlapping like this. So what have we got? The vow, making a promise, coming together to make a promise with somebody else. This also reminds me of the bird, you know, in Noah's Ark, when they get to the end of the journey, the waters are starting to fall, and then out of nowhere comes a dove, indicating that they are close to land. And then we also have these black, for some reason that reminded me of the new moon, because it's obviously the dark moon. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of those. Interesting. The vow. I'm going to give my impressions of the cards and then we'll dig into the book. So making a promise, coming to the end of a journey, making a promise to get to the end, fulfilling that promise. And also I'm getting hope. And we have the shadow here with its light and dark elements. And the shadow is the hidden. What is in the shadow is hidden. And when we think about the light, we think about shining that light into what is hidden, bringing it to the visible realm, unhiding it, finding it, seeking it, bringing it out of the darkness by shining that our light onto it and allowing that to then bring it forth so it can be seen and witnessed. And as it's seen and witnessed, it moves from the shadow into the light. And once it's moved from the shadow into the light, it's moved from what is hidden and lost to what is found. It then becomes a choice. And when it becomes a choice, it's a visible option in our lives. We're able to then discern whether or not we want to use that option. We don't have to use that option. So even if we've revealed something from the shadow that's really dark about ourselves, we bring it into the light. We bring it into ourselves. And we keep it in a place that we can see, that we are aware of, that we know is there. And that by doing that, we can then choose to use it or not, to be that person or to not be that person. When it's in the shadow, we can't make that choice because it's in the shadow. So that's when we react to things in that way. The shadow creates hidden, secret sides of ourselves that we may not even be aware of ourselves. And as it's in the shadow, it can be expressed when we don't necessarily have the thought process behind why we're expressing it. It isn't a choice to express it, it's a reaction to something that's happening. Because it's in the shadow, and because it's hidden from us, and because it's a fallback position that we may have in our lives. It could be a default position, it could be a default way of thinking. It's a reaction. It's not a choice because it's hidden. We shine a light on it, we unhide it, we make it visible, we witness it, we observe it, we bring it into the light. We create a means to understand that part of ourselves, and in so doing, we then able to choose whether or not we react in that way. We can physically step back and think, do we actually want to be that person? Bring it into the light. Wow, that was... Okay, cool, thank you. The father and the crone, they feel like they're together. I'm going to read from those two in the book, I think. The father, masculine energy. Okay. So the father is the masculine archetype, as per these are the archetypal cards. And the archetype would be something along the lines of being the action taker opposed to being the carer. The father is seen as the strength, the leader, the whatever. Not necessarily true. It's an archetype. Because the mother is just as much of a leader, right? And you're your own archetype as well, so you're your own leader. That's why I need to read from the book here. Because my brain is going with this one. The crone is about getting to that place of wisdom. The wisdom of shining the light in the dark, bringing forth what is hidden. Okay, yes, of course, the unseen. I'm hunting the unseen. Hunting the unseen that's in the shadow. Shining a light on it. Look at this light coming forth. Shining a light on the shadow, bringing forth the wisdom, bringing forth the unseen, hunt it down, so that then you can be in a better position to make choices in your life. The father. Right. Alongside the mother, the father resides in the central axis of the archetypal family. The father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. Thus, he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty. Yet ironically and simultaneously, the father is often absent, literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and one who leaves us to the wolves. So that is part of what I was struggling with, I think, in my head. I was like, well, we've got this archetypal image of the father, which is that they are, they're strong and they're masculine and they're the leader and blah, 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 blah. But they're also, my brain was going, they're also not perfect. They're human beings. They have emotions, they have feelings, they make mistakes. People make mistakes. So we might hold the father on a pedestal, but the pedestal isn't always appropriate, or isn't always achievable for that person to match, because it's like trying to be perfect at something. You can't be perfect at anything. Perfection is knowing that there is no perfect. There's nothing that is perfect. There is imperfection in everything, including wholeness of one unity self. Consciousness, 0 point consciousness, is perfect because it is also imperfect. There is nothing that is... Perfection doesn't exist. It's a duality thing. It's a right and wrong thing. It's a, this would only be right if it looked like this. That would make it perfect. When in actual fact, it's perfect already. It's just you as the eye of the beholder wants it to be your way of being perfect, your version of what perfect looked like. And the Father, being a human being, being a person, not just an archetype of a hero or a leader, of the breadwinner, or whatever archetype you may have of the father figure. They're an imperfect, perfect human being who does the best they can. And that is their perfection. The father that does the best they can is the perfect father. Without putting the pressure on themselves to be perfect at everything that they are doing. Without putting that label on who they are, who they have to be, what they have to achieve. Fatherhood is duality, because you get some things right, you get some things wrong. You can't do everything for everybody. You can't please everybody. All you can do is your best. All you can do is try and keep yourself and everybody else safe. All you can do is what you can do. He is both the guardian and one who leaves us to the wolves. They have to let you go at some point. They have to let you go. They guard you. They look after you. But they also have to release you so that you can make your own life, your own decisions, and be your own person. The champion and the failure. The father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetype itself. Witnessing the father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. This is us. Every single one of us on the planet. We hold this level of duality. It's the light and the dark, it's the shadow and the light, it's the good and the bad, it's the father and the mother, it's the male and the masculine and the feminine. We all have it. And in actual fact, I strongly believe now that the vow here is that life functions through these challenges of duality. The vow is, for some of us, that we will experience this in life. We all experience this in life. That's a vow. It's a contract we may have made. We may have also made a vow, a few of us may have also made a vow to work on remembering who we actually are, to bring the duality together, to find a way to bring the unseen forward into the light so that it can be something that we can choose rather than react to. Some of us vow to go on this journey, to hunt, to seek, to find the answers that will help us get to this point of wisdom in who we are, to become one in wholeness. I said I was going to read the crone as well, didn't I? The crone has seen it all. Nothing frightens or surprises her. She is the final manifestation of the feminine trifecta of maiden, mother and crone. In her long life, she witnessed endless cycles of death, sex, failure, rebirth, conflict and regeneration, giving her the ability to rise above the world of duality. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong, as she has seen the earth churning, smouldering, taking life and giving life. The crone energy accepts everything in devouring beauty and suffering with the same mouth, using the energy to reveal hidden secrets and knowledge. Her energy resides in all of us, though it is feared by most for its power and unconventional relationship with death and the macabre. Awakening the crone is dangerously rich and unapologetically magic. Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. So that completely ties in with what I was literally just saying. I didn't. Oh, okay. Giving her the ability to rise above the world of duality. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong, as she has seen the earth churning, smouldering, taking life and giving life. This is the thing, right? Where we come from, before we were born, we then die, we go back. But we go back with this experience. We go back with this self-understanding, this knowledge. We don't know how many times we've cycled around this. But the crone is the ability to see the unseen, to bring forth the aspects of the darkness so it can be seen in light, so that the wholeness of self can be accepted, so that we can make choices in our lives, so that we can then become the co-creators and we can be our whole selves in this lifetime. Some of us have made that vow, and because we made that vow, that is what we're hunting for. We are hunting all of this because we made this vow. This vow to remember, to bring forth, to combine, to understand ourselves, understand our consciousness, understand our wholeness. Be that in this life. Be that in this life. I'm going to do something I haven't done for a while, and that's use my pendulum. Just to give you, let's give you some confirmation. Okay. I'm going to say this out loud. Hi. Is this my guide? Can you show me no, please? Can you show me try again? Can you show me yes? Thank you. And can you show me rephrase? Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, is this what is the message here that is being shared correct that I've been saying? Is this a message from 0 point consciousness? Thank you. Is there anything else I need to add to this message today? Do I need to draw more cards? From this deck? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to draw more cards from the archetypes. Anything else? The castle. Oh. Now, interesting. The castle. keep things in a castle, right? Keep things in a castle, in a tower, keep them safe, keep them in a place of right, the castle. Reading from the book. XLII. Like most archetypes, the castle is loaded with duality. It represents abundant riches, seductive fantasy, ornate wonders, and lavish adornments, yet the walls are thick, cold, and shadowy. This card points to a tendency to hold on to possessions, quite possibly a literal home or position that project the image of achievement, while the soul longs to run barefoot in the forest, leaving it all behind. At times we must settle down, yet the castle lulls us with its spell of materialism and we fall asleep to our deepest dreams. The castle can be a motivating force, an enchanting goal to travel toward, but it is best not to linger within its walls of decadent deception for too long. So, holding on to possessions, holding on to the perceptions of this is the way it should be. This is the way I live. This is the way I believe. This is the way I talk to people. These are the choices that I make. This is the cycle that I want to be in. This is who I am. I know a lot of people live by that. And they go their whole lives with that. And, absolutely up to them. But for those of us who have made this vow and who are hunting and who need to shine a light on the unseen and the shadow, we need to think about this element of who we are. This is a part of the shadow. This is a part of the darkness that there may be elements of which the light needs to shine on to reveal where they came from. Why do we hold on so dearly to stuff? Why is it that is the way we think and feel and believe? Why is it I hold on to these possessions over those ones? Why is this more important than that? Because in true duality, in trueness, in wholeness, there's no actual limitations. There is no limit to the size of the room. There's no limit to the objects in the room or lack of those objects in the room. It could be an empty room. What are the limits? What are the boundaries? What is it that holds us back? What is it that we're putting our own way? What words are we using? What labels are we using that's saying this is right, that is wrong? Every life has a fault line. Every life has this. The fault line, if you think about the tectonic plates of the planet, one's pushing up, one's pushing down, the fault line, pushing against each other. It's the point of impact, the point of conflict, the point of where we rob each other up the wrong way, where we rob ourselves up the wrong way, where we have this desire to. It's almost like I need to control. We need to control what everything looks like, what we experience, who we are. We need to control what we are experiencing, and that control butts up with the lack of control. Other people wanting to control theirs, and this creates this friction, this fault line that cracks and creates earthquakes in your life. Let's see what the book says. Imagine walking across a frozen lake that begins to crack before your eyes. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You become fearful and tense and long for stable ground. Such is the energy of the fault line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break upon its chaos, open into chaos. It's likely this cracking open is overdue as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures. So I was pausing there because underlying pressures could be the need to retain what you have, retain that. It's the retention of it. It's the pressure of maintaining that, of fulfilling the need for it, to continue having it, or to grow it, or to have it as an abundant sort of, this is what I would look like if I was abundant. It's a pressure. It's a major pressure. And if it exists within the shadow, if the need for it exists in the shadow, and you don't know what is actually causing that need for you, it's not a choice. It's a reaction. And everything to do with that is subsequently a reaction to it. It's likely this cracking open is overdue as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures. This card comes as a potent warning not to deny the shakiness that's afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. There is no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamic from the ground up. It requires a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. A foundational shift. The foundational shift is shining a light on it, witnessing it, seeing it. Where is it coming from? Make it into something that you can visibly see, that's in your light. Accept it as part of who you are. And then everything around it that comes in, that triggers those memories, become a choice, because you know that it exists, you know where it is, you know where it comes from, you know who you are with it, who you're choosing to be now with it. And the more you use it, the more it becomes a choice, and the choice becomes a standard thing. And the fault line is showing the cracks in the ground of all the things that you used to be. If we go to the empty room, so I think I'm going the wrong way. XL2. The empty room haunts us all. It is the universal and all too frequented feeling of lack, of wanting, of the craving to fill ourselves with something, anything. We too often attempt to remedy the discomfort of the empty room by any means necessary, leading us to a culture of more. Ironically, the empty room is filled to the brim with potential, yet we perceive it as not enough. This card is a cry for patience, for sitting within the barren walls of not knowing, for awaiting true vision and purpose before attaching to what we should do next to our outward appearance. Be with the nothingness, be with the impatience. The empty room has immense power. Let others wonder what you are doing. If you can settle into the magic of emptiness, you will soon hear its whispers of wisdom. We're not used to emptiness as a people, I think. We're used to filling it with activities, other people, sports. We're used to filling it with things. We're used to filling our time, our space. we are used to having. Weirdly enough, when we think about the shadow, there are so many things hidden in the shadow. And it's weird to think that as we shine light on each of the things that are in the shadow empties out and fills up the light. Because the more you empty out, witness, see, make visible what is hidden in the shadow, it moves from there to there. It becomes a choice. And then the shadow becomes an empty space. And weirdly enough, that is something that can be quite scary. Because that empty space, that space used to be where reactions came from. That used to be something that you knew. That was you. That was your ego. That was everything that made you safe. That was all the things you held on to in your life. It became you. It was you. The shadow was just as much you as anything in the light, anything that you knew about yourself. Because they were perfectly aligned with each other. They were perfectly balanced. You empty the dark and put it all into the light. What you end up with is everything about you is known. Everything you can do then is a choice. So what is in the shadow? What is the shadow? The void. The void is in the shadow. And that is pure potential. And this is occurring to me literally just now. That it's in the darkness. It's in the darkness that we can draw out more of who we are. It's in the empty room. It's from the empty room where all the potential is stored. And it comes into being when we shine the light, because we constantly shine a light into it. And as it comes forth out of the shadow, out of the void, out of the pure potential of what could be, we shine a light on it, it becomes obvious and it becomes part of us. And that is where we draw abundance, manifestation out of the shadow, out of the potential of the empty room, out of that light shining on from us into the shadow of who we have been. And we can do that once we've emptied the darkness of all the things that were hidden, because we've brought them into the light. And we can do it now because the dark is empty. We've made it the void. And because we made it the void, we've made it the empty room, we've given it the potential to bring anything forth. And because we put everything that we are into the light, when we shine a light into it, we can choose whether or not we want that or that or that. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else, but in my mind right now, I'm drawing lots of pictures of things coming out of the darkness, a light shining on it, and then it being made obvious, clear, witnessed, observed, and then a choice can be made from the light as to whether or not to actually bring it into being. Co-creation. Wild ideas. Love that. Well, thank you very much. I am very glad I continued that reading. I think that is everything. Yeah. Okay, that's everything. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Take care. Love you very much. And I will see you next time. Okay, take care.